Jared.
Number two. And again, I was blessed to have another easy pregnancy, pretty easy delivery that time around.
So easy that I had her gynecologist. Um, it had been a running joke that I wanted a little girl as well. Now I did want the two boys, but I wanted a third child and the little girl. And the delivery was so easy. Literally, Shalita hadn't. It was 20 minutes later. Dr. Gunn told her, "You and you got to understand, Dr. Gunn. She has this sophisticated Southern drawl, and she says, darling, you do this so well. You should just go ahead and have another one." And I was like, "Yes, Dr. Gunn." And I thought we were.
And I was like, no, this is it. We're
And
getting up there. We're getting up there in age.
now, with that said, just to go back to that, I kind of knew what I was dealing with ahead of time because, when you're going through that dating stage, I'm asking her. I said, "Well, do you like kids?" And she said, "Yeah, I like kids." I said, "Well, how many kids you want?" She said, "One, maybe two." And she said, "Well, do you like kids?" I said, "Yeah, I love kids." She said, "How many kids you want?" I said, "I want 4 or 5." And without skipping a beat, without thinking about it whatsoever, she said, "Well, you need to find yourself a younger woman."
Yeah.
And so I knew, when we got the two, I thought that may have, I thought I had an outside chance for the third one, but we didn't get there.
We didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
But we've been blessed with the both boys. They've been healthy.
yes.
We did have one scare with Jared early on. He was less than a year old, and he some kind of way, we still don't know how. I have an idea how he used to suck his thumb, and he would, in the process of sucking it, would bite it and would have little cut marks across his thumb. And we tried to get him to stop. And then he became ambidextrous with sucking the thumb. It didn't matter which one you wrapped. And then he would do the same thing. And I think but some kind of way he got some infection, and it's that flesh eating disease. And some kind of way it found itself in its hip, in his right hip. And I was playing basketball in the league at the church, and was gone for the evening. And they called me at the church and said that Shalita had called looking for me. This was before we each had a set. We had one cell phone, and Shalita had the cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone at that time. She had the cell phone, and so she called the church, and they came to find me and told me that she had taken Jared to the emergency room, and that he had it would look like a bite or something.
Spider bite, we
Spider
thought
bite.
it was
Yeah.
at first.
And uh, and it turns out we get to one emergency room, one of those kind of quick cares, and then they immediately, when I got there, I remember looking at the doctor, and the doctor had squeezed it, and the infection, pus or whatever, literally popped, and it went on the wall behind him and landed on the wall behind him. That's how much was in there. And he immediately stopped and said, "You need to go to Children's Hospital." And so they put him in was it an ambulance?
Ambulance.
The ambulance, and took him to the hospital.
Children's Hospital.
And it was a flesh-eating disease. And so in the course of about 36 hours, he had like 4 surgeries.
Was it
Because they did it
was
once.
the anesthesia.
And then they were trying to clear it out, and they didn't get enough the first time. Then they did
had
it
to go
again,
back again.
and then they left a flap. They left it open, and we would have to go each day, and they would put him in this particular whirlpool. But I thank God for Shalita with this, because if I was home, I probably would have looked at it, thought it was an ant bite, a mosquito bite, or something like that, and would have thought that she was overreacting. And so, the way it worked out, God had it so that she was home. She made a decision, and then I just had to come and catch on after that. But to see him today, and the blessing, Jared ended up, running track at college level, and never had any problem with it. But I remember asking the doctor during the course of what was going on if what would happen if they couldn't get it all, and they said that he could lose his leg, and so that was
Yeah.
a difficult
It
experience.
was a frightening, it really was a frightening experience. And when I look back on it, you know, we were surrounded. We were very involved in our church back then as well. And we were very surrounded by family, um, a community of friends, and um, by the members of the church that we
The
attended.
deacons in particular.
Deacons in
Yeah,
particular,
and their
and
wives.
that really helped to carry us through those times. And everybody was just so gracious and just wanted to do whatever they could to make it, you know, to make things easier and just to help us out as much as they could. But you know, Jared recovered well, and we're just so grateful, and he's just been a blessing ever since.